Good evening and welcome to this orientation webinar regarding the job opportunities and why ACCA can be the best course for you. I'm CA Suraj Lakhotia and I'm a chartered accountant. I'm a CMA UK qualified and I have over 7 years of corporate experience and now about 7 years of teaching experience as well. I teach students of CA, ACCA, CMA, CPA, all across the finance and accounting. And my forte is financial reporting. And before we start today's webinar, I would like to get a quick answer from you as to why are you thinking to pursue ACCA, or what brings you to this webinar? What is the question you have in your mind that you want to get answered by the end of this webinar? So, accordingly, I'll try to cover those questions as well. I have a few questions which we got on our, help desk. But apart from that, if you have any specific question that you want me to cover, it can be anything in relation to ACCA, please feel free to type it out in the chat box and, I will pace my session accordingly. Okay, a couple of questions asked. Fine, I'll cover them as we move ahead. Most of them are covered in the slides itself. So, a brief presentation for you guys. So, ACCA, as all of you might be aware of, is it reflects Association of Certified Chartered Accountants. So in the United Kingdom, we have two bodies. One is ICAEW, which is Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, and we have ACCA, which is again another association of certified chartered accountants at the call. Both of them have equal signing authority in the UK, and ACCA has a much wider acceptance across the globe. You talk about India, you talk about Middle East, you talk about UK, you talk about Africa. Most of the countries accept ACCA as a certified qualification, and they treat it almost at par with their local accounting qualification. Now, it's if you are in India, of course, if you want to practice in India, you need a chartered accountant's designation. If you're looking at a lot of Indian companies, you may need the CA designation, but then at the same time, a lot of companies have started, accepting ACCA as, one of the qualification where they can, hire candidates. You talk about Big Fours, you talk about MNCs, a lot of companies which come into, which have come set up the bases in cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, a lot of these places. And in fact, we had a chance to, meet the executive director of ACCA, last month, and they were mentioning that even in Tier 2 towns, okay, exclude the Metro 6 metro cities, even in Tier 2 towns, there are a lot of, BPOs being set up, not called BPO, there are a lot of, outsourced centers being set up where they take care of global accounting, right? So you have cities like Ahmedabad, Surat, and, think of cities like maybe Nasik and all of that, where you have a good amount of setup where there is a lot of interest towards ACCA. And then again, if you come down to various cities in southern part of India, also in eastern India, companies have started setting up their offices, their global offices as they call, and they do absorb good amount of ACCA candidates, right? And as we look at the the opportunities, these are some of the companies, only a few of them. And one thing where ACCA stands apart as compared to other qualifications is that they have a robust, approved employer, list. So basically, there are over 7,000 approved employers who post their requirements at their ACCA, portal, and they absorb candidates, right? So that is where ACCA works in a way where they get the corporates who can hire or who want to hire ACCA qualifies, and they absorb them into the job, and salary are pretty attractive. With no experience, you can start somewhere around 6 lakhs, and with a couple of years of experience, if you already have, you can obviously climb up the ladder. So that is the job opportunity. And if you are someone who is who has just completed graduation and who is not keen on doing the Indian CA, or you have done your CA and you are somewhere you are feeling lost or stuck, this is one opportunity which you can definitely explore. See, you may continue with your CA qualification, but parallelly you can have a professional degree. This will help you in two sense. One, it boosts your confidence, and you become job ready. That is more important, right? So if at all you have thought, I'm not asking someone to drop their existing professional qualification, but yes, if you're someone who is pursuing CA inter, and then have completed a good portion of your articleship, and you're not very sure about a CA final, or if you are graduate and then you want to obtain a professional degree, this is one course which I would definitely recommend. So you can see, the demand that has built up, right? If you see 16, 17, 17, 18 in the initial stages versus what is the absorption now. So, the growth is phenomenal. And on a consistent basis, we're talking to a lot of ACCA representatives in India when we meet them. The moment, there is a candidate who is ready for job, of course, qualification is one basic criteria, but then you need to have some of the essential skill sets, which definitely we will try to groom you and make you job ready. And that is where the growth we can see for the demand of ACCA growing up in India. And in fact, these days I even hear from my CA practicing CA friends, or my CA friends who work in the big fours in the Indian practice. Even there, they are thinking, they have started exploring hiring ACCA candidates for their articles, because these days they are not getting articleship students, they are not getting sufficient number of CA inter qualified, right, or CA final qualified. So then they are falling back on ACCA, and then they are hiring these as well. So what do you get once you are an ACCA? You get an assured employment in MNCs or big fours. It is an internationally recognized qualification, which we also term it as global CA. And then, yes, if you submit a couple of thesis papers, you also get BSc and MSc from Oxford Brookes and London University. Of course, this is an additional advantage. And the best part, or why ACCA stands out, is one, the time period. You can, if you plan it properly, you can finish it in a span of 12 months to 2 years, depending on your exemptions, depending on the number of papers you need to write. But that is worth the effort, because a lot of them, I've seen a few of them who have completed ACCA alongside graduation. That's also feasible. And the cost. So a lot of us feel that a cost of 1.5 lakhs or 3 lakhs, that is the range, or depending on your exemption, we may feel that this is a quite expensive course. That is what the initial thought process goes to. But then if you compare this with, let us say, a CA, like, I'm not comparing the degrees, definitely a chartered accountant, a qualified chartered accountant would stand apart from ACCA qualified in India, especially if you look at. But then if you look only from the cost perspective, even if you look at a CA, right, if you put up all the registration fees, the tuition fees, and all of that, it would easily be in the range of about 2 lakhs. Okay, the foundation, inter, final, all put together, that is what would be the investment. So this is pretty much comparable with, the cost part. It is not very expensive, unlike CPA, where you have to spend 4.5 to 5 lakhs. This is still in the range which is, achievable, or it is reasonable, I would say. The other thing is, I know a lot of students, what they think is, after a BCom or a graduate, they would want to do something like an MBA finance, and where they end up spending 6 lakhs, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs. And the job prospects, if you ask, if you talk to them, you would feel that, after spending so much, job prospects are not very bright. Okay. So rather spend that time and energy, you can spend it, pursuing ACCA if you are keen on pursuing a qualification in finance and accounting, and then you would be in a good position to land up to a job. Right. So that is the part where, if someone asks me, is it worth it? Yes. If you are thinking of, especially I'm addressing to those students who have, who are in their graduation, who have completed their CA inter, or maybe CA final, and they want to look at, international opportunities, then this is one course which is definitely worth considering. Right. So coming to cost, broadly, if there are no exemptions, so I'll come to the exemptions part separately. If there are no exemptions, the breakup, if you see, would come to roughly around 2.1 lakhs. Okay. With tuition fees would work to around 3.5 lakhs. That is without exemption. But if you are, if you have completed graduation, or if you have completed CA inter, or if you are pursuing graduation from, some certain universities, then this fee would also come down. And one good thing about ACCA is, with a lot of universities, they do have a tie-up They recognize a lot of graduation degrees. They recognize CA qualifications. They recognize other professional qualifications. There's in some cases they recognize BBA also. So for a lot of these, there are some papers which are exempted. So just to give you a brief, you have three levels, which is level 1 applied knowledge, level 2 skill level, level 3 professional level. Most of the cases, if you would get exemptions in applied knowledge. I'll come to the detailed slide. And few subjects of level 2 might be exempted, but yes, in professional level you will not get any exemption. Even if you are a chartered accountant, you will need to write in the need to write the exams of professional level, right? So this is the breakup. And if you have fallen in a particular category as listed here, and if you approach it through an authorized learning partner, so IndigoLearn is a authorized approved learning partner, a silver approved learning partner. So if you go through ALP, so what happens is your fee that you need to pay to ACCA, that comes down significantly. For example, BCom graduate from 2.1 or 2.2 lakhs, it comes down to 1.6. So here you have a good savings of about 45,000. Same thing here, through ALP, through CA Inter, it is 1.56 versus 2.16. Again, a good saving. Here it's almost half if you are a CA final, right? So it's always advisable that you approach an ALP, like you can reach out to our student support team, and they can explain you the process of how you can, enroll and get the benefit of these exemptions, right? So total cost, including coaching fee, can come down to about 2.8 to 1.7 lakhs, depending on where you fall. For example, if you fall in the CA final category, 1.1 plus the tuition fee put together, it's only an investment of 1.7 lakhs, right? So that way we can structure it and we can ensure that you get the best, fee or best quote for the fee when you have to register for the ACCA examination. Then this is a pull out from their document, what they are looking at, and they are looking at, delivering employability. So one challenge what we also, even I personally as an employer feel is lack of employable skills. Even when we interview chartered accountants, there is a good amount of knowledge, but then application lacks. They are not employable, or they are not able to think through or solve problems, right? The way ACCA, because I myself am a CIMA UK qualified, I understand the difference in the approach. So CA can make you conceptually sound, but if I put a CA into a problem solving area, many of them would not be able to solve. I'm not saying all, many of them would not be able to solve because we are not trained to solve problems. Okay. So here is where the focus is, where they want to, improve the employability. And that is how the examination pattern works. And India has been a priority country for ACCA employers and ACCA Global. So India has been a priority country because we have a lot of talent here. We have a lot of inbound companies coming up and setting up offices in India. You look at the papers, you would see some MNC coming out and setting up a big campus in cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, right? You would see them setting up office spaces in Pune and all of that. So that is where, ACCA creates a lot of opportunity for students. And one more thing, when we were at meeting the ACCA delegates here, these days, a lot of companies are also encouraging, work from home in an online environment. So even if you are not from the 6 metro cities, or even if you are not from the prominent tier 2 towns, even in those cases, you can work online, you can work remotely, thanks to internet, thanks to, the internet availability, the cost of internet going down. So you can sit in anywhere in the country and you can still work for a multinational, right? So that is where you get, you don't need to worry about traveling to a city, or will I lose out on opportunity if I have to leave my parents and all of that. Those things are also significantly reduced when it comes to employability. So what all can you get if you have, intermediate or graduation? You get 4 to 5 exemptions, and within 18 months, if you prepare well, you can write the examination. And if you are a CA final qualified, then within 6 months, just you need to write 4 papers and you claim 9 exemptions, and you can be done with it. Now, one more advantage. So this is the exemption chart. What all exemptions do you get for different levels? So you can download this. This is available in our brochure on our website. One good thing about ACCA is, if I just take you through the subjects, right? So these are all the subjects, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Good thing about this is you can write one paper at a time. You can write two papers at a time. That is what is mostly recommended. There is no requirement to clear the entire level in a single shot. So, for example, I've prepared. I'm good at financial reporting. I'll write financial reporting in first shot, or I'll write financial reporting and maybe financial management together. Okay, depending on my comfort. And because I have this option to write paper by paper, even if you are a working professional, you don't need to take long leaves. Like if you look at other exams, if you have to write 4 papers at a stretch, you have to take a lot of leaves. But if you just need to write one paper, then you are not required to take so many leaves, right? And that is one flexibility which ACCA gives, and that helps you to write examination at your comfort. And see, can write exams in the March window, in the June window, or the October window, or the December window. So you can write up to 4 papers per session, but recommended is in the skills level 2, and at the the level 3 you can write 1 per session. That is what is recommended. There is no harm, you can take more than these numbers also. Then and then another thing, on the pass percentage, you can see 50 in the range of 50%. Here also in the range of 50% pass, 50% pass. Initially, so here you can see good amount of 80 percentages in passing. Then in September again 50, 48, 39. So has a better pass percentage. And I'm not saying that it's an easy course. Definitely not. It is not an easy course. A lot of content that I teach, like for example in financial reporting, a lot of those concepts are also taught at CA final level and CA intermediate level. So this is in no way I'm saying this is an easy course, but yes, if you get the right kind of guidance, right kind of coaching, if you are ready to put dedicated efforts, this is definitely achievable, right? So yeah, this is what the opportunities we have. Any questions so far? Somebody had asked about exemptions, so that I have already covered on the exemption part. Any question from any one of you? Okay. Kindly tell us about the overview of the course. There is one question on that I have already covered, right? Yeah. Then what does an ACCA do in its job? Okay. When you talk about ACCA, they're doing in their job, they can work in the field of auditing, they can work in the field of maybe taxation for UK, they can work in the field of financial planning and analysis, they can work in the fields of the traditional fields like account receivables, payables, and all of that. So all of these areas are open to ACCA. That is one. Then how is ACCA different from CA? Yes, a very good question. How is it different from CA? Now, if you look at the overall course content, CA tests student to a very deep. So the level of testing that happens in CA is in depth. For example, I will just give you a context. In financial reporting of CA final, if I have to teach Ind AS 16 on property, plant, and equipment, it would be about a 6 to 7 hours course. Okay. Here, this important aspects are covered, and that would be about 2 to 2.5 hours of learning. Now, now the point or doubt a lot of students have is there that I'm getting lesser knowledge in these, in ACCA, and I'll get more knowledge in CA? It is not that. That is not the case. The orientation of a chartered accountant in India specifically is audit oriented, and they want us to learn everything in detail. They want us to learn everything in detail. So what happens is a lot of students face this challenge of so much to learn, so much to absorb, like textbook running into 1500 pages and all of that. It really becomes a huge burden. What ACCA does is the same thing. They teach us the core concepts. They teach us all the concepts relevant for a working professional. They tell us what are the various things to be done, let's say in accounting standard or taxation or financial management. Once you have that knowledge, and once you are able to solve some of the case studies which are based on real life, then when you're actually working, you can take this knowledge forward. You can progress on that knowledge. You can read more, and you can become the master of that particular subject. So if I say CA will test, let us say at a level of 10, ACCA, the level of conceptual or depth that is needed is maybe 6 or 7. But when you talk about examination question in ACCA, you may get a single question from 7 different concepts or 7 different chapters or 5 different chapters. Whereas in a CA examination, you will get from maybe 2 or 3 chapters combined. So ACCA will test you how you can relate different things and then write the examination. Okay, though it is an objective type question examination, and also there are case-based studies question, case constructed response question, what we call. What happens is, even in objective type question, there will be some twist or some kind of turn which will try to confuse you. Okay, that is one. Second, writing examination in a computer-based environment actually tests your real life ability. So here, you are not always required to prepare the entire balance sheet and P&L. Sometimes they may require you, but it is not always necessary. They will only ask you extracts of balance sheet to understand whether you have understood the concept or not, right? So that is where, these are different. Is CMA industrial training can be shown as ACCA PAR? Yes, this definitely can be shown. Janai says, I have enrolled for ACCA knowledge level course in Indigo Learn. I want to know how much is the annual subscription and exam fee for knowledge level. So Janai, what you can do is, you can reach out to our support team. So based on that, they would guide you as to what would be your annual subscription and exam fees. If there is any specific university, or if you have already registered, depending on that, you would be, they will guide you. So I'll just make a mention of this to my support team also, so that they can reach out to you and explain the exactly how much will be the subscription and how much will be the your what do you call, you have asked about the subscription and exam fee, right? Then starting price I've already covered. Then will BBA get exemptions? Yes. Cost to pay exemption per paper. Again, there, Sudha, can you just add on this exemption per paper thing? It depends on the university and all, right?
Yeah, if it is a BCom completed, they will definitely get 4 exemptions. We need to inform the ACCA Institute. For BCom, like you said, for few particular universities like Usmania University has 5 exemptions. So depending on that, if they update us with which university or college they belong to,
yeah, and I think the exemption fee would be like, again, that also depends on the university and the if they.
The general rule for exemption fee is it's equivalent to the exam fee, but then, as far as ACCA is. But if they come through ALP, they would be given a different code for different aspects. So if we know what college they are, correct, that whole difference of what you had taken through that slide of 45,000 to 50,000, which they're going to save because of the ALP, would be because of this exemption fees. And also to add about that annual subscription, if any student registers any time after May in a current year, they don't need to pay the annual subscription for that year. They will start paying it from the next year. But if they registered before May, then only they need to pay for that current year. A lot of students, they say, if I register now in October, November, I have to pay for this year also and the next year also. So you don't have to worry about on that. And annual subscription would be generated every year in November for the next year. So Jan is the month in which you need to usually pay the annual subscription fee.
Okay, thanks Sudha. So the exemption fee, whatever we had mentioned here, this is the actual amount, without if you don't route through an ALP. But then if you route it through an ALP, or whatever is the applicable discount code for the specific level you are at, we will be able to guide you on that. So what you can do is you can drop in mail to support@indigolearn.com, or send us a WhatsApp to our number. I'll just show the number to you guys. You can note down this number, 9640-1111-110. That is 5 1s and 0. Send us a note saying, okay, this is your qualification, this is the university, and this is what you are currently at. And accordingly, our team will guide you as to what will be the exemption, because there is no standard discount. For example, if you are to Osmania University, in some cases, it's also nil, right? Or
yes, if it is OU, and depending on which year they're going to graduate on, so it all comes from the ACCU Institute. It's not that something which we are going to decide. Same thing. So we need those details for us to commit and inform them anything. So it is the ACCA Institute which will tell us based on their university, and we will forward that. We don't have to interfere in that aspect. Okay. But only an ALP code will give them that benefit.
Definitely. So kindly show the cost being. So we have just shown you the slide again. I'll just take you to that slide once again. This is the cost structure through an ALP, and if you go directly, depending on the level you are at. Okay. So based on this, we can take a call as to whether you want to, which level you are at, and accordingly, you'll be able to figure out whether, what is the thing you will be getting as a actual fee. Then, can I enroll for ACCA after completing 12th standard? Yes, you can enroll, but then after 12th, basically you would be starting your graduation, right? So then under that category, we can enroll you. How to make a choice between ACCA and other professional courses like CPA, CMA, CFA? Very good question. I think that's a really good question, Sharon. Whether we should do ACCA or whether we should do CPA or CMA or CFA. Now, what you need to understand is, if you are looking at a course like CFA, first let me talk about CFA. CFA is purely a investment oriented course. Investment meaning stock market related. If you want to, if stock market is something which excites you, if you want to build a career in, let's say, something like an investment banking, if you want to build a career in something like, let us say, equity research analyst, you want to analyze companies, you want to recommend stocks, you want to recommend shares, you want to tell when to buy, when to sell, or you want to set up your own, trade thing, or you want to be in the investment side, then CFA is the degree. That is the gold degree for CFA. Okay, for investment oriented role, right? That is the first category. Then CPA and CMA. Now CPA, what happens is CPA restricts you to US based companies. So if you want to build a career in US taxation or US accounting, or if you want to work in US, or if you want to work with a US MNC, then CPA would be the choice. CPA would be one of the preferred courses for you. But CPA is slightly costlier. That is around, it works out around 4.5 lakhs. And the second thing with CPA is, I'm not saying that is, good or bad, but you need to have 16 years. That is 12 plus 4 years of education, or you must be you would have completed CA Inter or CA Final. Now, for a lot of us, we have only completed BCom, so we do not meet the criteria of number of credits. So for that, we have to do one more post-graduation degree. That is one thing. And CPA, let's say you pass CPA paper 1 for today or this month. Within 18 months, you have to clear the remaining 3 papers, right? And there is a specialization you will take in taxation. You will be learning about US taxation. That is the thing with US CPA. And also on financial reporting side, you will be learning about US GAAP. Whereas when you come to ACCA and other subjects like BEC, you have one subject, you have subject on auditing. These subjects are more or less in line with what you learn in ACCA. But when it comes to ACCA, you learn about IFRS, which is adopted by most. Like, for example, even India has, aligned with IFRS. The UK is aligned with IFRS. Middle East is aligned with IFRS. A lot of these countries are aligned to IFRS and not to US GAAP. So it is a choice you have to make, whether I want to build a career in US companies or a much wider global company or much wider global firm, right? So that is where this distinction happens. But yes, there are CPAs who get placed in US accounting and all of that. But that is the broad difference. And CMA, if you see, it is not cost and management accountant. CMA is certified management accountant. So that is again a US oriented degree, where it is slightly, the cost is in line with almost around ACCA, around 1.5 to 1.8 lakhs is the overall fee structure. But again, you would be, if you are interested in building thing with US guys or in US companies, that is the course you can think of. Then see, you can do ACCA even when you are pursuing your 10+2. There is one more exam you have to write, but you can pursue an ACCA even when you are pursuing in your 10+2. So 10+2 is also okay. BCom is also okay. Ideal thing is when you start BCom, you can start with ACCA. And by the time you finish BCom, you should target to complete your ACCA. Yes, you can enroll for ACCA after completing 12.
There was a question on what is the home-based exam? Janani had asked. Okay. So just to add on about that, it is a facility which had actually started during COVID, where it was facilitated to write exams from the home. So you all know that there are 2 types of exams. One is on demand and one is skill for ACCA. On demand is you can, for the knowledge level, and the first paper of skill level, you can book exam any time of the year on ACCA Global Portal. And the remaining exams are going to be session based. That is only those 4 quarters, March, June, and September and December. But these exams can be written in a computer center, authorized computer center, or the students are also given the facility of writing it from the home. For writing it from the home, you need to first ensure that you have an infrastructure. You need to get an approval from the ACCA. You have to get all the technical specifications aligned, whether it is the operating system, the laptop, or the desktop, and the whole environment. Your Wi-Fi connections should be good. You should not lose out because of the Wi-Fi connections. So it is a very convenient thing, but if you can avoid it, it is always better to write from the computer centers, because the owners and the additional responsibility of setting up the infrastructure will not be with you.
Okay, I hope that clarifies. Package C depends on your experience. You can start somewhere around 5 to 6 is what we can start. And then depending on our experience, it would definitely, grow further. ACCA globally, if you ask me, there are about, more than 2 lakh members across the globe. In India, it is picking up. In India, it is, picking up. And I just showed you a slide with, the demand of for ACCA in India. So this is the, the demand that is, you can see the growth, exponential growth, I would say. Right, because especially with a lot of companies coming up in India, and also, a lot of acceptance to remote working, there has been quite a good demand for this, and especially big fours and all setting up their centers, large centers across the country. This definitely has a good demand as far as the courses are concerned. And just a few things about what you can get from us as support. We have live classes with we have live classes from faculties. I'm one of the faculties. Sudha teaches. We have other qualified ACCA plus CA faculties who would be taking you through. Then we also give you recorded backup. You will be given authorized ebooks of Kaplan. It's not some photocopy gotten from somewhere. We actually buy those books and we give it to you. Then you'll have internal tests, you'll have mock exams. We keep on doing webinars and all of that, forums, and 100% placement assistance, right? So that is the thing we have. And for a lot of conceptual videos, you will also be, we are also planning to roll out your animated concept capsule that will help you understand to understand the concepts better. Okay, and the team is available. You can reach out to the team. You can see the interactions on forums and all. And if you have any more queries you want, you can share it with us at support@indigolearn.com. So you can subscribe to our channel, OneFin, ACCA by OneFin, or mail us, or contact us for WhatsApp, or call us on this number, and we'll be happy to resolve any of your doubt you have.
And we'll be having webinars regularly, so you can keep watch out for these. This will be more informative and also interactive.
And also, if you want to access demos, you can let us know. We will share with you the demo videos, how the course content is, what is the level of difficulty. You can listen to a class. If you can join a class when because the sessions are going on right now, we have classes going on for both the knowledge level and the skill level, right? So knowledge level, business technology and financial accounting is going on. For skill level, we have financial reporting and financial management. Classes are on. If you want to just drop in by and just hear the classes and understand how we teach, the way we teach, you can drop a mail and you can get access to the class, specific live class, and you can then maybe you can take a call as to what is to be done.
I think there was that last question: does having an ACCA help moving abroad?
Yeah, so that is, I think, one great advantage if you have with ACCA, where because it's an internationally recognized qualification. You're exposed to IFRS. It's known in, I think, 180 plus countries, Sudha, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, correct.
It's 180 plus countries, 7,000 plus approved employers. So this is what you get when you get access to, like globally, like different across all the continents. Okay, so thanks a lot, guys, for dropping in, and you can subscribe to our channel, and those of you who have not signed up, do sign up. You can check out the resources, whether you decide to do or not. this is the time you need to explore, right? Because this is the age where you would be exploring and trying to decide for your career. And if you have any further queries, we would be more than happy to help, and can definitely reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.